Ever felt like the universe was conspiring against you? Like one bad decision was a domino that knocked over your entire day? That was Elena's Wednesday. Betrayal had left a bitter taste, a sting that echoed in every corner of her mind. She wasn't just heartbroken, she was furious. She sat, trying to ignore the constant buzzing of her phone, a reminder of the man who had so carelessly broken her trust. When a careless move sent her coffee spilling across the table, it seemed like the perfect metaphor for her day. At the counter, Alexander Pierce, a man who built an empire with his own two hands, waited for his coffee. He moved with an understated grace, the quiet confidence of someone who didn't need to announce his success. He noticed a scarf lying on the floor, its delicate fabric a sharp contrast to the sleek, modern world around him. Intent on returning it, he stepped forward, unaware he was about to walk into a storm. Elena, her senses clouded with betrayal and anger, saw not a good Samaritan, but a threat. Her reaction was swift, a hand flying out in an act of defensiveness. The sound echoed in the cafe, silencing the hum of conversation. Alexander, utterly taken aback, could only stare at her, the sting of the slap minor compared to the bewildering misunderstanding. He held up the scarf, trying to explain, but the words seemed to fall on deaf ears. He dropped the scarf, a silent retreat born from hurt and humiliation. Elena, realizing her mistake, felt a wave of shame wash over her. Life, in its strange way, gives us second chances, sometimes in the most unexpected places. Elena, eager to prove her worth, found herself standing outside the very building that housed the company founded by the man she had humiliated. Little did she know that the interview was going to bring her face to face with her misdeed. The interview started smoothly, but the tension was palpable. Alexander asked questions, his demeanor professional, but his eyes held a flicker of something that made Elena's stomach clench. She felt like a specimen under a microscope, her past mistake hovering in the air. She felt a mixture of guilt and trepidation. Could she prove herself to this man who knew what she had done? Fate, it seems, was not done with them. Elena received an internship offer, but her relief was quickly replaced by dread. Her role would be working directly with Alexander. The initial weeks were a tightrope walk of tension, filled with awkward silences and subtle power plays. Elena's frustration grew, and she confided in her friend about the cold shoulder, the feeling of being constantly scrutinized. Why wouldn't he call her out on it? Was it a test? As the pressure of the quarterly review mounted, Elena found herself working harder than ever, trying to prove her worth. She was determined to show Alexander she was more than her mistake. Little did she know, she was about to unveil a truth that would change everything. A casual question during a Q&A session suddenly revealed what was hidden under the surface. Elena realized he knew all along. He hadn't forgotten her mistake. He had simply chosen not to retaliate. The humiliation came back, stronger than before. The realization that he had seen her at her worst and hadn't judged her was almost too much to bear. Fueled by guilt and a need for reconciliation, Elena took the plunge. She apologized, finally admitting her mistake. Alexander listened, his expression unreadable, the silence heavy with unspoken emotions. He accepted her apology, but the underlying tension remained. Could they ever move past this? Elena poured her heart and soul into her work, determined to earn Alexander's respect through her actions. She took on extra tasks, she stayed late. Her dedication didn't go unnoticed. He finally acknowledged her effort with a simple but powerful phrase, "Your dedication is impressive." This was a turning point. He began to see past her mistake and recognize her drive. As the late hours wore on, They found themselves in a quiet corner of the office, sharing coffee and unspoken feelings. Their conversation drifted from project deadlines to personal stories. They opened up about their lives, fears, dreams. Elena saw past the composed exterior and found a man full of vulnerability. And for Alexander, the reckless, impulsive woman he thought he knew, turned into a remarkable person. A dinner that was supposed to be about work turned into something far more personal. Alexander finally opened about the expectations he carried, the pressure to live up to his family name. He sought validation not because of his family, but because of who he is. This vulnerability touched Elena deeply, chipping away the walls that had been built between them. The shift was gradual but undeniable. They weren't just colleagues anymore, they were friends. She was drawn to his quiet strength, and he to her fierce spirit. They began to understand each other, their past misgivings dissolving into respect, admiration, and something more profound. The annual company gala arrived, and Elena was a fish out of water in the crowd of executives. Alexander, drawn to her radiance, couldn't stay away. But when a competitor attempted to charm her, a new emotion surfaced: jealousy. Alexander, usually reserved, felt a surge of protectiveness, revealing a love he had unknowingly harbored. In a moment of vulnerability, Alexander confessed his feelings. His words, spoken with a soft tenderness, sent her heart into overdrive. Her feelings for him were real, too. Hope blossomed in her heart, however. The road ahead was still full of uncertainties. Their relationship took an unexpected turn when Elena overheard a conversation, words that reduced her to an asset. Doubt and humiliation crashed in, the past mistakes coming back with full force. Had she misread everything? Was she merely a pawn in a game? Her hurt quickly turned into a wave of resolve. She wrote a resignation letter, her heart aching, but determined to leave behind any feeling of being second best. A simple email that was bound to crush Alexander's hopes. Alexander, realizing the depth of his mistake, rushed to stop her, desperate to explain. He confessed his fears and his inability to handle those fears. He laid his soul bare, pleading for her to understand. The weight of unspoken words, the missed chances, hung heavy between them. She walked away, not sure if she could believe him. At the next town hall meeting, Alexander took a bold step. In front of the entire company, he confessed his mistakes and acknowledged the extraordinary person Elena was. He bared his soul not just to her, but to everyone. This public act of vulnerability was more than she ever expected. Elena, shocked by his confession, finally spoke, her voice trembling with emotion. She admitted he had hurt her, that he wasn't always perfect. Her words were both a critique and an invitation. He listened with an open heart, ready to rebuild, willing to earn her trust once again. The story of Alexander and Elena was not a fairy tale. It was an intricate dance of forgiveness, understanding, and growth. They rebuilt their bond, stronger and more genuine than before. They found love in the most unexpected place, forged in the fires of misunderstandings and second chances. They learned that perfection is overrated. It is the imperfection that often gives birth to the most beautiful relationships. Every love story has its detours, its unexpected turns. But it's through these challenges that we discover who we truly are and who we're meant to be with. They are a testament to the power of resilience and second chances. What part of this journey resonated with you? Let us know below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep believing in love, hope, and the magic of new beginnings.